fucking nation got freedom from marching, begging for pardons. Niggas ain't signing no parchments, big paint back. You crackers got red in your margins. Why? They broke every tree, slaughtered the buffalo, and then they set fire to TVs. They carved their face in mountains. While we go to jail for graffiti, we fought for this country. They give us syphilis and skeeties. We bigot and rob. And we're the ones who stay behind bars. They take all our money, but they ain't wanna give us no jobs. Wasn't supposed to make it, but we say the fire in the eye. It's like we really only living off the grace of our God. Can I live without getting harassed by the SARS? Can I live without getting slammed on my car? Can I live?
Shot pressure is really nothing, I come equipped with the drama. Disrespect, I send my niggas on the flight like Osama. Run your mouth, you might be talking through a tube to your mama. Here's the point, I ain't the type of nigga to be saying that I'ma do anything I damn sure wouldn't do. Your people talking real loud, but I'm aiming for you. Luke Skywalker, I'll be back to get your 2 live crew. So I just popping, you shaking, and you don't know what to do. Know those rounds for you, pain. Let's get it. I done seen too many real niggas fall to let these fuck niggas beat me. I must bring the pain. Just in case it's time to even the score. Say my name 3 times and I kick in the front door. No, I ain't greedy, but I'm hungry and I'm hunting for more. See, I'm a beast, bloody knuckle on all 4 with the gore. I see the ops watching, low clips, review my options. Close range with the shotty, put a hole in his body. I should have walked up with the Glock, proceed to open his top.
I didn't know what to say, but this was the volcano.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You damn right, I'm a UPK nigga, straight out of 1 West, no contest. We the best to the niggas who's living, trying to contend with the stress. Going through the test, no access, cut you oppressed, slaves. Niggas is dying off in waves, living in dirt, now it's a grave. Niggas crosswalk through the crosswalking or the white chalk over the bodies of roads that you paid. Americans killing us, saying they fearing us with the drugs in the hood. Now my niggas delirious, put a gun in my face, all because of my race. Click, boom, flash, put some Skittles and murder my ass. Like a sheep to the slaughter, heart beating harder and harder. Baptized with these words, never dipping in water. So now we pray to the Father, give strength to the Father that's looking for the marauders. That's fucking taking our daughters, niggas, it's wartime. Lights up.
Niggas steady broke, I'm missing my niggas turning to a ghost. Now they can't raise a toast, but for them we pour a dose. When you really close is when it really hurt the most. And when you really love someone, it's hard to let them go. You left in me with 2 seasons, now she gotta grow them both. And now she got some missing pages to your story, never wrote.
Shalom Yavashim Shabbat. I'm Officer 500 Baraki Alban Banyamian from I.S.U.P.K, Canada. With me, I have the one and only Captain Chief Sock G, Captain Soccer War. What's going on, Other One?
Ain't nothing what's going on with y'all, man. We rocking it out here at the 54th annual Passover. Just wrapping the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you know what I'm saying? Brotherhood, sisterhood, righteousness all around. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Come, Most High in Christ. If I may ask you a quick question, Other One. How did you hear about the truth? How did you get into the I.S.U.P.K?
Man, got in the I.S.U.P.K 13 years ago, man. Found the truth in Washington, D.C. on the corner of 7th and 8th Street. Prior to me finding the truth, man, it was the time that I was searching, trying to find myself. Went in the Christian church, and went to church, going to Bible study, had a lot of questions that they couldn't answer. Had partners that went to jail, got locked up, they came home Muslim. Went to ask them questions, they took me to the mosque, they didn't have the answers. Started going to libraries and bookstores and reading and studying and learning about all these different belief systems and all these different religions, but nobody could give me the answers that I needed. Wasn't until I seen the brothers teaching on 7th and 8th, walked up, asked questions, they had answers. Went to class, all the questions that I had, opened up the Bible and they showed me the truth and it transformed my life.
Come, Most High in Christ. And Salak, Other One. Like, wasn't where you brought up, like, you know, where were you born, or what zone were you brought up at?
I was born and raised in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. Moved uptown in Washington, D.C. when I was 11 years old. I was raised in a Christian household. My grandfather was a pastor, was an author, you know what I'm saying, was a very accomplished brother in the world. But I never had the church experience growing up. By the time I came of age, there wasn't anymore, you know, the family wasn't in the church anymore. So I grew up hearing a lot of, you know, I grew up with a strong belief grew up learning about the Most High and learning about trusting in God and putting Him first and knowing that He's watching you, but I never had the in-church experience. It wasn't until I became a man and I wanted to try and find God for myself that I actually went into the church and found out that everything they was teaching in there was a lie based on what I was learning from reading the Bible.
Kind of what kind? And in the area where you grew up in, where you were brought up, right? What tribes were present over there?
All the tribes were present where I grew up. Anybody that's ever visited Washington, D.C. or spent any time in D.C. and the surrounding areas, you'll find that it is the melting pot that America proclaims itself to be. I grew up with all the 12 tribes, Mexicans, El Salvadorians, Guatemalans. I grew up with brothers and sisters from Cuba, from Puerto Rico, from the Dominican Republic, from Haiti, from Jamaica, you know what I'm saying, from Trinidad, from Guyana. All of the tribes were represented. I was a Native American Indian. My family on my mother's side were all Judites, you know what I'm saying? So I had not to mention all the heathens were there as well. You had the Ethiopian Hamites, you got Russians. I grew up learning to speak Russian, Japanese, Chinese, East Indians. Like it was all the Arab nations were there. So I had a unique experience in being able to learn firsthand just how different the 12 tribes of Israel were from those other people, and also just how much pride those heathens took in being who they were and in standing on what it was that made them who they were as a people culturally.
Kind of what kind? And real quick, because you just mentioned that, you're basically a so-called Native American Indian, a Gadite. What would you say to the people, whether it's brothers or not, saying, there is no such thing as a dark-skinned Gadite, or on the other hand, there is no such thing as a light-skinned Gadite? What would you say? What's your take on that?
I would say that you don't know the truth about the Native American Indians. Before our oppressors came here, we looked just like this. We looked like the way we look today. And the lie that we were told is that Native Americans only come in one color, only come with one phenotype, they don't have any facial hair. When all of that is a lie and was craftily constructed by our oppressor to cause division. You understand? The original Native American Indians that walked and roamed and lived and had thriving cities in North, Central, and South America look exactly the way that so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians do today. Your oppressor presented you a certain type of image so that when you saw brothers like me, you would say, nigga, you ain't no Indian.
Kind of what kind? And so what zone is your school in?
Right now, I'm a captain 10,000 over Memphis, Tennessee. I left Philadelphia, actually went to the generals and asked for permission to be able to go and find some unfollowed ground to be able to plant my sword and find some brothers and sisters. And they gave me permission to go and search and find what that place would be. It took me some time to do some research and some diligent studying to find out where I would be most utilized. And when I landed on Memphis, Tennessee, I went and asked for permission. And they gave me the permission. So I've been down there for 3 years now. It's been a tough 3 years. We grinding and tilling that soil. And the Lord is going to get an increase. And I look forward, if that next Passover, if our King isn't back, I look forward to bringing brothers and sisters out of that place to deliver before the nation as righteous men and women of the Most High.
God, Most High in Christ. And do y'all have a physical location in Memphis, Tennessee?
Yes, we have a physical school in Memphis, Tennessee. The address is 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215 in Memphis, Tennessee. The phone number for the school is 901-285-0049. Again, 901-285-0049 is the number for the Memphis school. We have classes Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Your brothers and sisters, you got family, loved ones in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the I.S.U.P.K. so we can show them what it means to serve the Most High in Christ.
Hey, Most High in Christ, I don't want any last words you want to say?
If you missed this, then you missed it. But be here next time. Come into the I.S.U.P.K., learn the truth of who you are, where you come from, and what the Most High chose you to do in this life. And you can be all that you can be.
Hey, Thor, understand with me, I have Captain Kapash.
Captain Kapash.
What's going on, Other One?
It's I.S.U.P.K. 54th Passover out in Raleigh, North Carolina. So many forces tried to stop this, man. The mayor tried to stop it. The governor, whoever, all types of little people, news reporting here trying to stop it. But you see what's popping. We on the popping. You know, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping anyway. So we good. You know what I mean? But they couldn't stop this. You know, so I like it. But when people come after us, it give us energy. It give us zeal, you know what I'm saying? It give us more umph. Like, damn, we ready to get more. We ready to become stronger now. Whenever anybody step to us, any organization, the Southern Poverty Law Center, all of you give them the fuel for our fire. You understand? Christ said, I'm here to bring a fire. What will I if it's already kindled? So the fire get kindled, we love it, man. So we love the hate. You know what I mean? We feed off of it. We grow off of it. You know what I mean? We're like an angry monster. That's the I.S.U.P.K, man.
Come, Most High in Christ. And
So he was doing a quick interview, but
if I may ask you, so like the other one, how did you hear about the truth? How did you get in the truth in the I.S.U.P.K?
Man, I was in college, in university, Indiana University, and I started to notice how the oppressor got everything better than our people, but they're not smarter. Like, I went to a school in the hood, then went to a PWI university, and I saw they hit each other in the nuts. They, you know, taking all type of Adderalls and drugs. And I'm like, man, these devils ain't smart. I would think they'd be all some little geniuses or something, but they're not smarter than the kids I went to high school with. They in a top university, but they're not smarter than high school kids that I went to school with. So that's when I may say, oh, something ain't right with this world. Something ain't right. Because they about to have a college degree, they got money, they got everything they need, and be having a great career. But the people I went to school with, my people, they ain't gonna have none of this. And they ain't smarter. So I said, something ain't right with the world. That's what made me search and start looking like, I need to go down the past into the history of how this happened. What happened. I had to do my own research. Fuck what the school teaching. The school ain't teaching you no real school teaching, man. They teach you Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Apple Tree. I had to do my own research in the Herman B. Wells Library, or the IU Library, one of the top 5 libraries in the country. I went into the black section, black history, to look all the records. I'm talking books. I'm talking, the library was so big. It had like 10 floors. And it's like a football field of books, 10 floors high. That building is sinking because it has so many books. And I looked through that whole library to find the answers, and ain't none of them had the answers except the I.S.U.P.K. None of them books had the answers. That's all the oppressors' books, man. The I.S.U.P.K, the only one had the answer about how we migrated and how we got into the west coast of Africa in our kingdom of Judah and Benin and Togo, and how before that, the history before that, no other books had it.
Most High in Christ. And Salaki, other one. You said yours one is Indiana, right? Indianapolis?
Yeah, man, in Indianapolis with the brothers, Naptown.
Y'all have a physical school over there?
Yeah, we got a school and a barracks, actually.
Most High in Christ.
Housing brothers, housing families. 2 brothers just moved out the barracks and got their own crib with his family. You know what I mean? You know, he struggling, but was able to get back on his feet. So we housing brothers, feeding brothers. We got food programs, clothing programs, work programs, all of it. You know what I mean? What we doing under Commander YAHANNA.
Most High in Christ. Salaki, could you provide the information for the school in Indianapolis?
Man, if you in Indianapolis, call 317-453-0519. That's my personal number. You can get that now. Also, go to Google Maps, type in I.S.U.P.K. All our pictures, address, everything will pop up, so you can come on down, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But we got a fortress out there, so if you come with the smoke, you know what I mean? We get smoke, but that's neither here nor there, but as I'm saying, come in peace, and come learn the truth, man.
Most High in Christ. And any last few words out of one?
Man, I just want to say shout out to Canada, shout out to the work that Officer Bun is doing out there, all the brothers out there. We got a great medic out there. All the brothers putting in that work, showing the truth out in this world, man. Shout out to the I.S.U.P.K Canada, under Commander YAHANNA.
Canada with me, we got Captain Parasya, and stand from the UK. What's going on, Cap? Want to introduce yourself?
I'm good, man. So, you know, it's Captain of 10,000, Parasya from the UK, Birmingham, England. So, you know, of course we do camps in the Birmingham city, in London, and also in like Brixton as well, man. South London, the ends too, man.
Hey, Most High in Christ, Cap. So like a Captain, if I may ask a question, how did you find out about the truth? How did you find about the I.S.U.P.K?
Alright, so how I found out, you know what I mean, I was just like everyone else. I was looking for who he was, you know what I mean. I'm in the UK, black people suffering, black people dying, and you know, in the church there's no answer. You know, a lot of black people joined the mosque. There was no answer, but even though I didn't know what I know now, I always knew that wasn't the way. I was like, nah, like, these religions hate us. like if I didn't know anything else, I was always aware of that. So I was on the internet, and it was a video. It was commanding General YAHANNA, and you know what I mean, he was blazing, and I didn't understand it, but I was just like, I don't understand it, but there's something about this where I think, you know, all the answers I've been looking for, this man has the answers. And then yeah, just from that, one day there.
Come, Mosiah in Christ. And so like, if I may ask another question, do you see in the UK, it's mostly Benjamites, right? But do you see any division, like, so like for the noise, do you see any like division amongst our people in your zone in the UK, whether it's among the Benjamites or the other tribe that you would find in the UK?
Yes, you do. So I'll give you one example. In the UK, it is majority of Benjamites. But one problem you have is some Benjamites that are born in the UK don't like Benjamites that come from the islands. You know what I mean? So it could be any West Indian island. You know, sometimes there tends to be a rift. So, you know, I have noticed that. And, you know, it's ridiculous because, you know what I mean, we're both the same people. You know what I mean? With the Windrush, they came in like the 1960s, so it's not even a long gap really. And already that's happening.
And another question, if I may add one. We already know in the I.S.U.P.K, we teach that we are not Africans, you understand? And we can actually see the difference between Africans, whether it's cultural, linguistics, or how we interact with each other. So do you see that in the UK, how is the interaction with the Hamites in the UK?
Right, so in the UK, the Hamites don't like us. They may act like us, talk like us, use the lingo we use in the UK, but they definitely don't like us. You know what I mean? There's been a few incidents where some Africans say, you know what I mean, listen man, we are not you. So of course, deep down, they are aware of it, but to get by, they will pretend to be like us. So absolutely, you know, that is very evident in the UK too.
One last question out of one. Because you were just talking about what we eat between the islands, whatever. I mean, I'm from Martinique, you're from Jamaica. So in Jamaica, do y'all eat like manikou?
I would need a translation of manikou.
Salakia, when that's Salakia, that's Martinican Creole. Manikou is like, damn, it's a possum, Salakia.
It's a possum. Damn, I mean, don't get me wrong, from my family and my upbringing, no. But you may talk to another brother, you know what I mean, and his family does, but from my understanding, no, in Jamaica, we don't eat them things there, man. Like, that would be frowned upon big time.
Okay. So, like, any last words, out of one?
Any last words, man? Do look us up, man. So, do look us up. I.S.U.P.K, United Kingdom. You know what I mean? We got camp videos, lectures, everything, yeah? And with that, man, shalom.
Hey. I have the one and only Captain Isupk out of Texas. What's going on, out of one? Everything to up. If I may ask you a quick question, out of one. How did you hear about the truth? How did you get into the I.S.U.P.K?
Watching internet videos, looking for the truth. I got into a stage in my life where I was just wanting to know what was right and what was wrong. I got on the internet with a couple of the brothers you know today as I.S.U.P.K, TITHES, you know what I'm saying, Amatia, all them brothers. And we got to searching and trying to find the truth. Stumbled up on the UPK, and we've been hooked ever since.
Mosiah in Christ. And because you know you're the captain in Texas, right? Did you grow up in Texas? Were you born there, or break it down for us, out of one?
Born and raised in H-Town, Houston, Texas, South Side. You know what I'm saying? In the hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a down south country nigga. City country nigga.
Yes, so basically, coming from Texas, you know, from down south, right? What was the climate with the tribes? You understand? Meaning, like, you know, was there any unity or, you know, great division amongst the tribe? Because I know in Texas, like, you have a lot of Hispanic brothers as well. You understand? Like, you know, could you expound on that for us?
Right. So when you little, we were raised with the Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? So when you little, Mexicans your friends. But like once middle school comes, then that's when we start kind of beefing. You
And then in high school, it was just black and Hispanic fights. You know what I mean? They were fighting over girls, fighting over, you know, your friend fought my friend. So the tribal thing really started in middle school, and it kind of went all the way up to grown-ups. You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, man, you know, before we started really looking at the civilization, how things were, we loved each other. You know what I mean? Like, we really came together, we fought side by side until somebody came in and let us know that we was enemies.
Kind of what kind?
You know what I'm saying? And from then on, we fight.
And so, like, would you say, like, that black and brown beef right in Texas, would it be similar to Cali where it's gang related?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't say, not in Texas, I wouldn't say it's gang related, but there are gangs in Texas. But I wouldn't claim it as being gang related. It was just more black and brown. It was, to them, it was the black people, and to us, it was the Mexicans.
Kind of what kind?
It was more racial. We was really having a civil war. And that's kind of really what brought me to the truth. Because when I heard that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians were the same people, that made sense. The cultural, like how we eat, the music, how we dance, how we dress. Like Brazilian women, they got them long dresses and they do those dances. The Mexican women with the mariachi band, black people with the what's the bands called? In the bands in New Orleans that they got on the streets, second line bands. Those things are cultural. And when I saw those different cultures, I'm like, we are the same people.
Right. Most ain't Christ.